Hello, I'm Robert P. Ottone, and I'm going to do a short reading from a story that you can find in my collection, Her Infernal Name and Other Nightmares. I was very happy to see a lot of love for this collection from a lot of really great people. So I hope you enjoy it. This story is one that's very personal to me. It's a lot about my dad. It's called The Final Goodbye. When Vanderbilt County installed red light cameras at nearly every intersection in Resting Hollow, the folks in town were divided on how to feel. On the one hand, it was important to enforce the law. Students from the local university often cruised through red lights late at night, and accidents could be high, especially in September when school was back in session. On the other hand, the tickets that were issued were around $175 a pop and were nearly impossible to fight. In the off chance that one was actually innocent, he or she would be out of luck. When a ticket arrived in Bradley Ellis's mailbox, he was surprised. He hadn't driven through any red lights as far as he could remember, but when he checked the addressee, he saw that it read Bart Ellis, his father. The only problem was, Bart Ellis passed away 6 months ago. It wasn't uncommon for Bart to get speeding tickets, and he certainly received his fair share of red light tickets since the program started. He always enjoyed taking a late-night cruise around Resting Hollow, first as a teenager in his two-door coupe, then as an adult in more sensible vehicles befitting a family man. He would drive Bradley around as a baby to help him sleep at night. He always drove to families' houses and always enjoyed taking road trips. He was a careful driver, outside of a few tickets for some minor offenses, of course. When Bradley opened the letter from the county, he studied the pictures that accompanied the ticket. There were 3. One was of the rear of the car, his father's Subaru, long since turned in to the dealership. Another was an extreme close-up of his father's license plate, attached to the back bumper of the vehicle. The third picture, that was the one that rattled him. A clear view of the windshield, his father behind the wheel, wearing the suit he was buried in. Bradley tucked the ticket into his back pocket and went inside. He had purchased his parents' home after his father passed away, and his mother had taken up residence in the guest cottage on the property, allowing Bradley to set up the house however he wanted. He walked into the backyard where his mother was gardening. She had always worked in the garden his entire life, growing kale long before it was trendy to do so, and always having fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, and more. It was rare that she needed to buy the basic staple vegetables as they grew plentiful for her during the seasons. Bradley didn't know if showing her the ticket was a good idea or not, so he kept it to himself. He looked over the garden she was working in and thought it best to wait until he did some investigating into the ticket before revealing it to her. That afternoon, Bradley sat at the kitchen table staring at the ticket. He looked at his father's face and checked the date the pictures were taken. According to the county record, the pictures were taken only a month ago. His father had passed away by then, so Bradley took out his phone and called the county to verify whether the ticket was a mistake or not. The woman on the other end of the phone was remarkably helpful and provided enough information to indicate that the ticket was, in fact, real. The pictures were taken at the stated time, on the stated date, and she was able to produce a short video clip, which she emailed to him. In the video, Bradley's father's car slipped through the light late at night with no other traffic in the area. The video even had sound, and Bradley was able to hear the familiar purr of his dad's Subaru's engine as the SUV rolled through the light. He had heard that engine 1,000 times, a sharp contrast to the roar of Bradley's Chevy Tahoe. Bradley watched the video of his dad rolling through the red light about 30 times that night, sitting on the couch and drinking his usual Miller Lite while watching Hell's Kitchen reruns on his Roku. He couldn't focus on Gordon Ramsay screaming at incompetent chefs, and instead he studied the photos and watched the video, pausing when he could make out his father's silhouette in the car. The video was clear, but the close-up of his father wasn't as good as the still image on the ticket. When Bradley went to bed that night, he cried, thinking about his father, about the cancer that took him, and the possibility of life after death. That's about where I'll stop. If you are interested in picking up Her Infernal Name and Other Nightmares, it is available wherever fine books and super shady books are sold. So yeah, I hope you pick it up, I hope you like it, and make sure to pick up Even in the Grave.